Once again, we are back at it, Chuck Grigsby. We're doing the King Project all month long, 2017 October. Thank you everyone that's been giving us support and great feedback on some of the great work that Dr. King has done and his legacy. Today, I want to jump right into the quote, the time is always right to do what is right. The time is always right to do what is right by Dr. King himself. And I really want to talk about Dr. King and how we are kind of really represent him nowadays out in our public memorials and murals and statues and all the things that we got out there. And I got to tell you, right now, from what I understand, there's about 900 streets bearing the name of Dr. King as of June 2016, according to CNN. And then one of those streets is actually located in Jerusalem, which I thought was pretty cool. Another cool thing that I discovered by accident was that the University of Texas at Austin has a rally every year around the time of his birthday, and they do a community march with that, and that's based off where his statue is at, his bronze statue is at. They all meet there, about 15,000 people, and do, again, a community march, and I just thought that was cool. Outside of that, there is a little thinness, if you will, when it comes to kind of really what you see out there. There's a lot of abstract stuff about Dr. King and some groupings with him, some random babies and leaders and a lot of murals. But that's about it, you know. So I wanted to find out really some different ones that stuck out of my mind when I was doing the research on this. And there is one or two things that I do find. So in 1970, 2 years after his assassination, there's a bust of Dr. MLK located in Harlem at the Esplanade Gardens. And that's on 147th and 151st Street by the Harlem River. And the sculptor who did that was a guy that is really known for doing radio work. And I just thought that was a little interesting. The bust itself is it's okay. You know, based on everything that's out there, I'm happy we have that because there's not much out there just really indicating and showing our appreciation of Dr. King. The likeness of him is not, in my opinion, one of the best ones. He looks a little angry and a little distant on what we have represented. But again, please do not get it twisted. I am appreciative that we do have the acknowledgement and we do have a little something out there showing that we have Dr. King really represented in a way that should be. Another one that I really wanted to highlight was done in 2016 in April. This was the 48th anniversary of his death. And this is located in Kokomo, Indiana. It's a statue and memorial. And it's really, really nice, again, compared to what I've seen out there. There's about 3 benches. There's a pictorial panel highlighting a lot of his moments in his life. I know each bench costs about $3,000. And again, the whole deal with his likeness and everything like that, let's just put it this way. It was done in April. And then I think a month later, they took it down to redo a lot of different things and really make some changes on that. The sculptor who originally did that was Jonathan Russell, which was a local guy. I didn't find any major pieces of Dr. Martin Luther King that was done by any African Americans. Not that that matters very much, but I thought it was interesting enough to mention. This memorial, which is done really, really nice, honors his legacy based according to them, and the vision that they had was peace, freedom, and equality. And they do have a quote that's well done for that little county and that little area, and here it is. To inspire all residents in Kokomo and Howard County to further the work, vision, and philosophy of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. So that was one of the rare times that I saw someone really recognize him as a reverend, as a doctor, for his work and his legacy, some of the great things that he did. Another great acknowledgement and a great visual of Dr. King in a bronze statue that's located in Atlanta, Georgia, it was unveiled on August 8th, 2017. It's an 8-foot statue. It took 3 years to make. It seems that about 800 people showed up when they unveiled this. Governor Deal was involved, Mayor Reed was involved, and Bernice King was involved, Dr. King's 4th child, who was the only minister, Baptist minister, of the family, from what I understand. Also during the unveiling, which I thought was really cool, was that the Bell of Liberty Plaza bell rang out for Dr. King in this unveiling, which was only the 4th time, I believe, at the time in the state's history that they bring that bell in some honor for someone. The first sculptor they chose to do this, he died in some kind of freak motorcycle accident, and so they got Martin Dowd to do it. And I really didn't find out too much about Martin Dowd, any major work that he did with his sculpting and things like that. As I said, it took 3 years to make. Calvin Smyer, a state representative, was the one who sponsored for this bill to really make this happen on the Capitol grounds, which I think is really cool to mention him. And again, Mayor Reed was there, and he announced, along with this project, that they were going to seek $40 million for the MLK corridor to really improve transportation and traffic within that area. He also announced there's going to be a $23 million aquatic center that was going to be built, which I thought was a little bit off, I guess. You know, $23 million in an aquatic center was something that I thought, in my humble opinion, that they could probably come up with a little bit better way of kind of acknowledging Dr. King and kind of how they had that set up with that kind of money. But hey, again, based on what is not out there, based on very little pure acknowledgement of him and just a great likeness of him, I'm appreciative to have anything out there when it comes to Dr. King and his legacy. And then in October 16, 2011, Washington, D.C. National Monument was put up for Dr. King. And this was actually scheduled to come out in August of that year. But we had a little visitor, Irene, come into town, so they postponed that. And I really think without this monument in D.C., it would really be hard to kind of really have that national icon status, in my opinion, as a visual person, having Dr. King really be in a great likeness, if you will. This project took 5 years to make. I think 52 countries were competing for the design honor. Dr. King is the only African American to be honored ever by the National Mall or even near it by the grounds. And that's only fourth non-president to be honored like this, non-person who's non-president to be honored in this kind of likeness. So, you know, again, this really, again, cements Dr. King and his national icon status, my personal opinion, based on what's out there. The addresses are called 164 Independence Avenue, which I think is really cool because it's a reference to the 1964 Act, Civil Rights Act, that Dr. King was instrumental in having. So I just thought that was really cool. The master sculptor was Lee Yee-in, or Lee Yee-in. I don't know how to pronounce it just quite clearly, but I hope I didn't mess it up too bad. The statue is about 30 feet tall. It took 5 years to make. There's about 450 feet of inscriptions and sermons of his speeches and the collections of his sermons throughout the whole facility, the whole mural. And ironically, they don't have I Have a Dream anywhere in there. They decided not to have that in there for some one reason or another, but that is really where most people identify him from, and they didn't really include that, so I thought that was a little interesting. Dr. King is the centerpiece of the memorial, and you have to walk through two pieces of big, huge stones, and that's the Mountain of Despair, and he's the center of hope, if you will. And I just thought that concept and the whole visual of that, from what I've seen online and from my research, was really, really, really cool. So I can't wait to see that. It's granite, from what I understand, not bronze, and I just thought that, you know, when they unveiled this, it was really a big event. Not Dr. King, but President Obama was there, and he gave a little great speech about that, and I remember that a little bit. And in the unveiling of this, about 200,000 people were supposed to show up and really be involved with the whole unveiling. So I just really wanted to kind of highlight this. This wasn't a planned talk that I had today with the discussion, but I thought it was important enough because I was very underwhelmed with the lack thereof of what we have out there. And I know we have a national holiday, and again, I know we have over 900 streets named after Dr. King, but I just really think that there should be more out there, in my humble opinion. I think there should be more likeness of him standing alone based on his work, based on his legacy, and based on really a lot of the controversy that he had going towards the end of his life, that some of that controversy has kind of played itself out. He was right about a lot of different things. He was right about a lot of different things towards the end of his life about what was right for it. And so the controversy, I think, sometimes is brought onto him, even to this day, unnecessarily, because I believe Dr. King was on another level and he was ahead of his time. This is GUD Worldwide, Chuck Grigsby. We're coming in with the King Project for a few more days of the month. Thank you so much for the support, guys, and we'll take care. Thank you.